Biden is totally trying to sabotage the Harris-Walz campaign. I definitely agree. If y'all seen his interview on The View, basically throwing Kamala Harris under the bus, saying that he gave her basically gave her presidential powers, and a lot of his policies is her policies, and then we all seen when Biden had the Trump 2024 hat on, So I think he really does not. I don't think Biden really is a fan of Harris, because Harris was colluding with Nancy Pelosi basically to oust him. So I don't think he really cares for Kamala Harris. That's why he's saying and doing a lot of these crazy things that you wouldn't expect someone who is actually supporting someone else to do. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna show the clip. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me on those platforms as well. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from PJ Media, from Stephen Green, and he reports that anointed Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris promises a new way forward, which, by the way, is it's a communist motto. But anyway, Presidentish Joe Biden said today he delegated, quote, everything from foreign policy to domestic policy to Harris because as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And everybody was functioning with functioning synapses wants to know, which is it, bub? What? I'll pause here for a moment to give you time to both marvel at Biden's subtle undercut of the Harris-Walz campaign, but mostly to chuckle at the phrase Kamala Harris promises. Did you get all that out of your system? Good. Let's proceed, shall we? All told, Harris is having a mixed week. On one hand, bettors at sites like Polymarket and John Strassel's election betting odds show Harris as a slight favorite, and so does poll analyst Nate Silver. If you want to know how the least liked vice president in polling history suddenly gained such favorability, Elon Musk, an actual rocket scientist, has you covered. He said, manufactured by the media. These are the polls here showing her go up. Like here all the way down here, we see the poll all the way down in January. Just in January, she was all the way down at 28%. Then now all of a sudden, she's up to 48%. How does this happen? And like Elon Musk said, it's manufactured by the media. Absolutely. On the other hand, she's still an embarrassment every time she speaks, and her pudding brain boss just slipped in a shiv between her ribs on The View of all places. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And we all seen the horrible Oprah interview. Oprah even you should see the look of bewilderment on Oprah's face during that interview. It was crazy. Like even Oprah was like, the look on her face was like, bitch, please. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And well, actually I can. This is why they've been hiding her, because she's not really good off the cuff. She's not really good at sitting down and having these conversations where she has to think and answer questions. Everything has to be structured. And that's why she keeps saying the same stuff over and over and over again. Well, I grew up in the middle as a middle class and la da la da da. Every time we ask her about the economy, we don't care anything about that stuff. We want to know about your policy. What will you do to help the average American? And she can never answer that question because she doesn't have an answer for that question. For progressive women, that show serves as a sacred ground, which is true. Talking about The View here. But let's play this clip. Here we go.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
So there you have it. The Biden policy is Harris policy. That's why I call it the Biden-Harris administration or the Harris-Biden administration. It's all the same. It's because the same puppet masters that run Joe Biden is the same puppet masters that's running Kamala Harris and her campaign. That's why you have the same people in her running on her campaign team. But during the 2004 presidential race between George W. Bush and John Kerry, Evan Thomas, the assistant manager editor of Newsweek, said the media, quote, wants Kerry to win. He continued, quote, they're going to portray Kerry and Edwards as being young and dynamic and optimistic and all. There's going to be this glow about them that some is going to be worth, collectively, the two of them, that's going to be worth maybe 15 points. Pretty close. Looks to me like they've given Harris a good 16-point bounce, even if Thomas was wrong by an order of magnitude, and he wasn't. 1.5% is still enough to tip most elections. It's certainly enough to tip a presidential election in the current environment. If Thomas was right, and he was probably in the ballpark without the partisan media or the state steno pool, as I've started calling him. I really don't get that reference, state steno pool. I don't get it. But the entire country would vote about as Republican as the state of Utah. I would agree. But if there's anyone who might be secretly sad to see the once unloved Veep become the most beloved first woman of colorness president, it might be Joe Biden. They've gone back to remembering what a woman is for now, at least in Harris's case. That's true. They can't even define what a woman is, but now they want to put in the first woman president. It makes no sense. But remember when Biden announced by tweet on a Sunday afternoon that he was completely voluntarily and freely of his own strong will dropping out of the race, and how a couple of hours later he finally remembered to announce that, oh yeah, he's also endorsing Harris? If that sequence of events from the Obama-Pelosi cabal forcing him out to his slow road endorsement didn't leave a bitter taste in Biden's mouth, it's only because he can no longer remember the flavor. Facts. I think he's still upset about it. This is why he went on The View and did what he did. And what does Biden care, really? Who's the next president? And what does Biden care really who the next president is? He knows his legacy is the first incumbent president to get forced off his re-election ticket by a cabal of party insiders who were more powerful than a sitting president. And given Biden's mental and physical decline, that's not really a subject for debate. Besides, the Biden crime family got a good 4 years of looting the Treasury. Jill got to play act as POTUS, and Hunter will almost certainly get his pardon. He definitely will. For a mid-wit schemer with no talents aside from cheap demagoguery, and expensive graft, that's not such a bad way to go out. Yeah, he made millions upon millions of dollars by money laundering, and he's not that bright of a person. Even Obama admits that. Still, there is that little matter of Biden's prickly ego. Harris is all but running as the challenger to Biden's record, such as it is with her New Way Forward BS. She dropped him and all their accomplishments faster than Usain Bolt fired out of a cannon attached to a Falcon 9 rocket. So if Biden somehow manages to deny Harris his re-election prize with backhanded compliments like that one on The View, could you blame him? I absolutely could not blame him. Like I said, this article don't even go over the point that everyone's people been saying that Pelosi pushed them out by saying that they would get Kamala Harris, and Kamala even said, like, yeah, I would do the 25th Amendment if you don't drop out of the race. So I think he's bitter with Kamala Harris. He's bitter with the with the Democrat elites by pushing them out. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.